We have a 95 Astrovan here. We're going to be putting some trailer lights in. First thing we need to do is to remove the tail lights. There's two clips, as you can see there, and two Phillips screws. So go ahead and remove those. And then you got your passenger side, two Phillips screws on there as well, and then two clips on the outside. Just wiggle that out and release the wiring. Next step is to remove the rear trim panel. There are 6 or 7 screws to pull those out. Then remove that so you can access the wiring. Next step, remove the access panel for the spare tire. Move that out of your way so that you can run wires. And also on the driver's side, pop that out so that you can access wires on that side. There is a T30 Torx bolt right here. Just undo that. The next step is to run wires. I use a big air duct zip tie. It works really, really well. You just tape your wire to it and then pull it through. Our next step is to go ahead and run the wire down underneath the carpet. This particular wire is going to go right to the wiring pigtail. Our next step is to test the wiring on the flasher. As you can see, you put the test light in there. You're looking for the one that controls the flash. See it switch in there? That's the one you want. I believe on this particular model it is the green wire. You just want to double check your wiring schematics just to make sure you do hook it up correctly. And then run that through your rubber grommet. And we'll show you a little thing that we have that's pretty cool. It's actually made out of a antenna that I've cut. You can kind of see it here. You cut the end off and just put that on the other end. It's just a hole, and you can put a screwdriver in there. I'll show you how this works. It's a really cool little thing. It'll go right through that grommet. And as you start to slide that through, you can see it come through the other side. Just pull your screwdriver out the other end and feed your wire down through. Really nice little thing to kind of help you run wires so that they stay insulated in that rubber grommet. And you just pull it straight through. Pretty slick. Now our next step, we're going to go ahead and use some Scotch locks to tap into the wiring system. Like I say, you want to check your wiring schematics just to make sure you do have the right wire tapped in. I can't remember the actual colors on this one, but you have a green wire, a blue wire, and I believe a brown wire. Just test that with a test light to make sure you do hook that up correctly and run your wires back down through to the pigtail. You go ahead and put your light back in and get everything locked back in and just put it all back together. And then we'll kind of show you how we wire up the pigtail here in a couple minutes. We like to use a PVC vacuum tube. I believe that's a 1-inch tube. And just run your wires through there. This really helps kind of insulate your trailer hitch wires. And then that white wire will be your ground. As we drill a hole right through the floorboard so that we can run that rubber grommet into the floor. And then that's where your trailer lights will come out. And then just pull your wires through, and we will show you. I will also give you a wiring diagram website that you can go to get the actual trailer lights. Make sure you just ground it real good and clean off that connection. Make sure that you have a really good solid ground. That's really important, especially with trailer lights, because they do go faulty if they're not grounded correctly. Now on the driver's side, we use that same antenna tool. It's just a grommet poker, and run your wire through there as well. Now that will be your left turn signal, your park light, and also your stop light. So you actually have two wires that come through there, one wire that goes over to the passenger side, and then those go down to the pigtail. And we'll show you how to wire that up here in a second. And here's our website that you guys can go to get your wiring schematics for your different types of vehicles and trailer lights. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take care of these wiring. That white wire is your ground. That's already grounded, so you just connect that to your pigtail. Now I've used just crimp caps, barrel connectors, but then I also put that blue heat shrink tubing over that, and that just kind of helps insulate it as well. And I'll do that on all my connections. Makes it really nice, solid, and waterproof tight connection. As you can see, those two wires going over to the driver's tail light. The yellow one is the one that's going over to the right tail light for turn signal and stop light, and the white wire is your ground. Okay, now that we've taken care of the wires, I just take a little torch here, a little butane torch, to kind of help heat up the heat shrink tubing. It's just a lot faster than a lighter, but you could also use a lighter as well. And we're going to just do a final test here and make sure that everything's working correctly and put the car back together. There's our left blinker. Looks like. Left side, working fine. Right side, looks good. Our garage is a little messy there, as you can tell. We've been very busy this week. Your brake lights are on. And then there's our final look at it in the dark. Everything working just great. This actually took about 3 hours to install. Maybe once you've done a couple of them, might take you a little bit less time, but now you can do it yourself. So please subscribe to our videos and post your comment. And here's that website one more time for you to get your wiring schematics for your trailers and for your cars.